What's going on, Vikings fans? This is Justin in Rochester with Purple and Gold for Days, and it is Week 18, the final regular season week for this NFL season. Your Minnesota Vikings have a game against the old Chicago Bears, our second greatest rivalry to that team from the East. What are we going to do? Going to play starters? Going to rest people? And what in the world can we possibly have to look forward to this weekend? Well, we got playoff possibilities all over the place, and we are going to be right back to go through them all. The Minnesota Vikings currently sit in the third seed, and frankly, that's probably where they will end up remaining, but we're going to go through that here. The San Francisco 49ers have a game against the Arizona Cardinals. They are 14-point favorites. The Cardinals don't care about that game. They're playing for draft picks, but they still have an outside shot at the 1 seed, so they're going to play that game regardless of whether the Vikings win or lose. And, of course, funny, the NFL managed to not schedule those two games simultaneously, so the 49ers are going to know going into it what they have and have not to play for. But we all know the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are locked in that 4 seed, but Dallas could still get that 1 seed if they catch Philly. And, oh, by the way, San Francisco could too. Bottom line is this. We all know that Seattle, Detroit, and Green Bay are playing for that one final spot here. But we'll go through the possibilities of who the Vikings can end up playing here before we get to the preview. We all know the possible opponents are the Giants, Packers, Lions, and Seahawks. And frankly, it's a 95% possibility as we're going to go through here that it's going to be the New York Giants because it either takes a 49ers win or a Vikings loss. Any one of those two possibilities, and they will be facing the New York Giants. It's about a 95% chance. But for the sake of conversation, let's go through the rest. If the Vikings and Packers win and the 49ers lose, we will have the rubber match against the Green Bay Packers at home because at that point we will be the 2 seed. I will take my chances. Didn't like the performance last week, but being back at US Bank Stadium is going to make a little bit of a difference. Beat the doors off of them in our house. They kick the snot out of us in theirs. I think it would be one of the greatest matchups in wildcard round history. But having said that, a lot of things are going to have to happen. So let's look at the other two here. I do believe the best matchup for the Vikings would be the Seattle Seahawks, but only a 1% chance of that happening. We would need the Vikings to win, Seattle to win, and Detroit to win, as well as 49ers loss. Now, what's really upsetting about how the NFL has done that is the Seattle game is going to be in the second window while the Lions and Packers play at night. If Seattle wins, that completely eliminates Detroit, and then all of a sudden their motivation to beat the Packers is slightly less. Now, I do believe that the Lions will go out and play that game. Dan Campbell is going to want to show an impression. And at the end of it, would be a great feat for the Lions, having been in the cellar for as long as they have to, at least have a winning record there. Conversation pieces, less than 1% chance the Vikings, Detroit would have to win, and Seattle and the 49ers would have to lose. Let's make this clear one more time. I seriously doubt the 49ers are going to lose, but on the off chance that happens, it would be fun to also have a rubber match there with the Detroit Lions as well. Again, we barely squeaked out a win at home. They beat us rather handily in their house. Would love to see the Detroit Lions here. But having said all of that, we all know it's going to be the Giants. The Giants are going to rest their starters. And frankly, as I said in my previous video, which will be linked at the end here, I do believe the Viking starters should rest as well. Having said that, I'm not Coach Kevin O'Connell. He's going to decide what's going to happen. Yes, I can hear the argument to, well, we should play maybe a quarter to a quarter and a half like it's a glorified preseason game. I don't think it's worth the injury risk, but we do need to have some work done with this new and rotated mash unit that is the Vikings offensive line. Maybe give Kirk Cousins a little bit of a game situation where he's working with a new center. Maybe Justin Jefferson catches a few more passes and gets close to that record. I seriously doubt it. The only thing I care about in this game is to get out healthy. We've had the advantage for the better part of the first half to 2/3 of the season with the injury bug because we avoided it. We didn't play any starters in the preseason. We were very, very healthy. We caught teams when they had some injury issues, playing a lot of backup quarterbacks. The worst thing that can happen is to have an injury to another key player. Again, I'm talking about Kirk Cousins, Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, TJ Hawkinson, Adam Thielen, KJ Osborne, and again, the entire offensive line. As I've said, it's a walking mash unit. So you're going to put those guys out there on Soldier Field? I know the Bears are terrible. And frankly, the Vikings backups should be able to beat the Bears. They're just absolutely terrible. No Justin Fields, another backup quarterback. Listen, if this Vikings team puts another backup quarterback on the map, then shut her down, okay? Defensively, even if you're rotating guys out, if you don't play Zadarius Smith or Danielle Hunter all that much, Harrison Smith, Patrick Peterson, etc., you should still beat this Bears team. All I'm going to say is this. I'm treating it like a preseason game. We're still going to watch. We're still going to break it all down. We're still going to cheer. We're still going to hope that the Vikings win this game. We don't need to go all out in this game. If you win, you win. And yes, it would be awesome to have Kevin O'Connell have a 13-win season in his first year. But this isn't the game that matters. The game that matters is a week and change from now. Most likely again against the New York Giants, which is also going to be an interesting rematch. Listen, the Giants gave us everything. Now, the defense played okay up until that last touchdown run and that 2-point conversion. But I'm actually glad that 2-point conversion happened because it forced the Vikings to be in desperation mode. Can you imagine what it would have been like if they hadn't got that 2-point conversion and the Vikings go 3 and out, run some clock, and burn Giants timeouts, ultimately just to lose on a field goal anyway? The New York Giants are going to be an interesting matchup. Brian Daboll is in line for Coach of the Year. I'm sorry, Kevin O'Connell, but too many mistakes have happened at this point. And frankly, the Giants don't have as much talent as the Vikings do. So I think Coach Daboll has done an outstanding job. Having said that, we'll save that for next week. We're going to have it all week next week because it's playoff time next week. But for right now, let's just stay healthy. Skol Vikes, let's win this game. And no more injuries, please. Kevin O'Connell, take your players out after the first quarter and a half. In fact, as I've said, I don't want you to play them at all. But if you're going to, take them out early. We don't need any more injuries. Please like, comment, and subscribe to your boy Justin in Rochester here. Thank you kindly for joining me. Skol Vikes, let's win this game.